So as you guys know, there was a time where all of these big right-wing media figures and trolls would like to go to big events as sort of like keynote speakers in order to speak to a very large audience. And the whole point of their presence was in order to cause as much anger among progressives that might be at, say, a school or part of a company or at the location as possible. They want counter protests, they want media attention, and they want to hopefully bait lefties into doing something cringy or bad and catching it on camera. Ben Shapiro was the king of this, but, well, he announced what events he was going to be at and where. People knew his shtick and what he liked to lie about and what the facts were in response to what he was lying about, the undeniable, citable by with large, amounts of scientific consensus, facts. And so they ambushed Ben Shapiro at these events, asked him hard-hitting questions he couldn't answer without outright admitting that his opinion dissents from that of the overwhelming majority of scientists and the agreed-upon consensus within all of the professional spheres that pertain to this study. And Ben Shapiro pretty much stopped doing it, as did many of these other figures as well that used to be quite known for it. Matt Walsh, on the other hand, is an internet troll known for, back in the day during his radio days, doing Nazi grown man diaper fights where nearly naked grown men in diapers, one being a fat man with a swastika tattoo on his back, would wrestle in diapers in the yard, and Matt Walsh would walk around them in a circle with a camera and a microphone, judging the fights. Matt Walsh recently announced he was doing an event. I believe it's this, he's pretending to be a LGBT kids author in the advertising for the event at this school. So, he's just lied about everything that he does to the school and in the advertising. It's part of his whole trolling scheme that he does when he does these live events. Here's the thing, though. Good friend of the channel and based YouTuber and streamer Shark300 knows and apparently lives near where this event was being held. And so he decided that he was going to go to the microphone during the Q&A, during Matt Walsh's speaking engagement today, and confront him on probably trans issues, to be honest. I don't know what. I have yet to see this. All I know is, according to someone in my chat, the official VOD on Matt Walsh's channel has deleted this bit out, where Shark goes to the Q&A microphone. So apparently Shark humiliates Matt Walsh here. I feel like he would have to, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'm excited to see how this went.
About how, it's clinical depression and it's clinical anxiety, and we need drugs.
Here, I might have. Yeah. Okay, yeah. He's finishing up a question from someone else here. I rewinded a little bit, too far, but not by much, just because I don't want to miss any of the bit where Shark comes up.
To fix it. But I think for much of it, it's a lot deeper than that. It's just the culture that we live in that encourages people to feel that way. And what do we do about it? I think that we, part of what we do is we have a message of truth and meaning, and we do what we can to spread that message.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, he's got a copy of Matt Walsh's anti-trans children's book, Johnny the Walrus. I meant Rewound, thank you. Oh, here
Hello,
comes
Mr.
Shark.
Walsh. It's nice to see you. I've watched a lot of your content.
Please be patient with me. I'm a Sigma. We'll have to. I like his outfit. I like the checkered, the black and white checkered, I don't even know, wool vest, and just the black t-shirt. I think that's the Nike symbol. The headphones, the based cap. Very casual, but it looks like you dressed nice without trying. Very, very good. Already presenting well. Already out-chatting Matt Walsh.
Hello, Mr. Walsh. It's nice to see you. I've watched a lot of your content.
Appreciate that.
No problem. I wanted to ask the question. You said before, virtually every culture has its own child into adult initiation, almost all of them before the age of 18. And not only that, 16-year-old girls are mature enough to make their own decisions and even get pregnant and start families as well. And you even said 13-year-olds, if expected in society to act like 23-year-olds, that's what you'll get.
Damn, okay. Oh, I should have known he would go nuclear. I should have known he would go nuclear, just outright confront him on his pedophilic statements. Holy f***. No wonder this got cut out.
Girls are mature enough to make their own decisions and even get pregnant and start families as well. And you even said 13-year-olds, if expected in society to act like 23-year-olds, that's what you'll get. So my question is that you, I would imagine, as you've made clear here, I think, are against these types of medical interventions when it comes to transgenderism, trans ideology, however you would call it. Why would you say that these types of people are of the
Holy
age
shit,
of...
he's sweating. Holy shit, he's sweating. Look at the sweat. Look at the sweat. You know he went cold, and you could see it's already condensing on his face the second those quotes got brought up. Ooh. Ooh.
You know, to sip beer, be full-fledged adults, at least should be in the eyes of the legal status, but also, in quote, what you said, I believe on Twitter, that these are children under 18 when referring to trans medical care and services.
Yeah, so much of what you've pulled there is from, I think it's from Media Matters hit piece about a year ago, pulling comments from 10 years before that. And
so these people always respond, those quotes, they're from a hit piece, you see? We have video of him saying these things. You can't unsay them, Matt.
Point that I was making there is simply a historical point, that back through history, you find that people used to get married a lot younger. And so they didn't have this...
Oh yes, Cherry, would you like to send me the clip so we could show how clearly he's lying right now?
This, pregnancy was not sort of the crisis, no matter what age it happened. The pregnancy was not often considered sort of the crisis that it is now, because people got married younger. They started their journey into adulthood at a younger age. We don't live in that culture anymore. That used to be the culture that we lived in.
Get him back.
And we also live in a culture now where we have this kind of extended adolescence that goes beyond the age of 18 and even up to 25.
He is gripping that podium. He's nervous.
And beyond, where we treat even adults like they're essentially children, which I've talked about as well. So we don't want to treat adults like they're children, but we also...
God, oh my God, look at the glimmers. Holy shit. Someone needs to straight up do a like enhanced version of this video where it zooms in particularly on the tops of his cheeks. You can see the sparkles of the sweat. He's so nervous. He's like stumbling over his words. I've actually never seen Matt Walsh this flustered.
Also have to understand the psychological capacity of actual children, which is why performing a life-altering surgery on a child or giving them, for example, cross-sex hormones, which can happen at the age of...
I would have burped directly into the mic. I would have just interrupted him with like a nice... I couldn't really muster much of a burp there, but if I had one, I'd have just done it. You guys watch my streams, you know. What is wrong with you? Tell me that wouldn't be Giga Chad to just interrupt him with like a guttural burp into the mic. Maybe I'm just too base for this world.
14 or younger, which sterilizes them.
I support you for
who
you are.
Life-altering changes to their body, but they're sacrificing things about themselves that they can't possibly understand. Like they're making decisions that aren't really decisions because they're not old enough to make them, but they're making decisions for kind of the older version of themselves. Okay. So at the age of 14, I know I'm saying a lot more than you needed, but at the age of 14, the child is making the decision that I'm never going to have kids again in the future.
He's really just, he can't just let it go. He's still going.
Future. And yeah, at the age of 14, you might think that. When I was 14, I thought that. When I was 24, I thought I'd never have kids. When I was 26, I had 2. Now I have 6. So kids at that age are not equipped to make those kinds of decisions.
Okay, but my question was more of, you just now, you called them kids, but were these not your words, or do you change your opinion? Because what I'm confused about is, before you would say things along the lines of, these are adult.
Oh, here's the link. You got a link to what he said? Cherry got it.
It is not. In fact, ever since the beginning of time, teenage girls have been getting pregnant. It used to be more common. The peak, ever since they started keeping records of these things, which they only started doing recently, like in the 20th century, but ever since they started keeping records, in 1957 was the peak for teenage pregnancy. 1957. Not 2009,
well, back
not
then,
today.
All of them were supposed to have kids. That's when you had kids.
That's my point, okay? So to all of a sudden act like this phenomenon of girls getting pregnant at a young age that we consider young, 16 or 17, to act like it's a new thing is ridiculous. It's always been that way. Even biologically, and this is me just stating, right now I'm going to start by just stating facts. So fact number 1, it's not a new phenomenon. Fact number 2, in fact, it's a phenomenon that was more common earlier in history, and for the first 6,000 to 10,000 years of human existence, it was a normal thing. Fact 3, girls between the ages of 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile.
Yeah.
Okay? That's biological. That's a fact, all right? I'm just stating facts. That's all I'm doing. But what happened recently, and this is...
I'm just stating facts. That's all I'm doing. Will never not, live in my head rent-free. I'm sorry. But that's got to be the most pedophilic way to have gone about disarming the audience ever. I'm just stating facts. Hear me out. Just stating facts.
This is the 4th fact. Recently, in the last 30 years or so, we decided that that's way too young to start a family.
Why?
And because now
divorce rates would probably go up, and once you're that young, you can't really make sure that you know.
No, girls are getting no.
Girls were getting married early, and marriages were lasting longer. You very rarely hear about these relationships that go to their your diamond anniversary, your 50th anniversary, and all this. That's a dying breed of people out there.
Yeah, and those were all people that got married very young. That's why
they're still alive.
Yeah, that's why you can have someone in their 70s who's celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary because they got married when they were teenagers. So what I'm saying is that the problem is not per se teenage pregnancy, it's unwed pregnancy. That's the problem in society. It's only problematic when you are not married and you don't have the man there to help you take care of the kids because he's a coward. And the reason why we have that now are for 2 reasons.
Yeah, no, he just outright says that the problem isn't teenage pregnancy, it's unwed teenage pregnancy. Yep, okay, I think that so far Shark could have hit a little harder because, the quote from Matt Walsh goes way deeper than what Matt Walsh explained away there. So hopefully Shark remembers the full quote, the full 2-minute thing, and hits him back well. Because let's see. Already he's flustered Matt Walsh, but I feel like Matt Walsh kind of saved it.
Adults, or should be in the eyes of either culture or society. But now you're saying in this age range of 13 to 16 or 19, in that age range, they're now children. Because I would imagine that giving birth for, female body people, females, is a life-altering decision. One possibly even greater since you're bringing a new life into the world than just altering your own. So are these children, are all these adults?
These are children. I mean, under the age of 18 are children, and even though we have this problem of extended adolescence that goes way into adulthood, really your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until you're 25.
Okay. So even in specifically, marriages between these people and giving birth, you would say that's still child pregnancy, and those are children giving, like, making that decision.
The most you really need to look into how much these people actually put stock on the fact that most people are not fully mature until around 25, 26 years old, mentally speaking, is the fact that they all advocate for they'll use this as an argument for why we should raise the voting age to 25 years old. Totally not because people under 25 years old are massively leaning towards voting Democrat or anything. It couldn't be because of that. Or they'll make the argument in the case of certain drugs and alcohol. They try to raise the drinking age up to 25 sometimes, and the same goes for, like, with weed. They try to limit that as well. Yet at the same time, you never see them advocating for military enrollment to have a mandatory age increase, despite that being an extremely potentially fatal decision one can make at such a young age where they have not fully developed their brain. You never see them advocating for this in regards to basically anything, for when it comes to the death penalty, when it comes to adult prison sentencing, for committing a crime. It seems like they only consider that whenever it's something, and of course gender affirming care, when it's something that they can be against politically. That's part of their whole culture war thing.
In giving birth?
Yes, I'm against child pregnancy, if that's your question.
Okay.
He took it back. I guess he's redacted his position. He's redacted his position from those years ago where he said the problem wasn't teen pregnancy, but unwed teen pregnancy. I feel like Shark might have forgotten the full clip there. I think he did well, and he definitely flustered Matt Walsh, and I think the fact that he did well is evident enough that they cut this clip out of Matt Walsh's upload of this. It could have been better, but also pretty damn fucking good, and I have a feeling Matt Walsh might think twice about doing another live engagement. Let's keep a look on that, or keep an eye on that. So I don't know why I said keep a look. Let's keep an eye on that and see if Matt Walsh ends up either stopping or at least winding down his IRL speaking engagements. Or maybe he just stops announcing where they're going to be so he can't get ambushed. Matt Walsh said this was his last live. Wait, really? No way. Oh, you mean you confronted him as well, Alec Gunter? Shark literally hit Walsh where it hurt. Yeah. The whole... And there's so much more. Like, I feel like I would need a script. I would need a script, but I'd have to practice it. And if I, like, perfectly recited it 3 times without looking at it, I have it down. But if I had a script that went something along the lines of, "Hey, Matt Walsh. Damn, man, I know I'm young, but I've been a fan of you since the diaper fight days. Remember when Skater, the guy with the Nazi, with the swastika tattoo on his back, won those diaper fights? That was crazy, man. I wish I was there to witness it in person like you." Anyway, man, so I actually had a question about some previous quotes you had in the past, if you could elucidate them for me. No, you need to interrupt, Matt. Just don't want to read them off here. So first you said that that you think that the problem in regards to teen pregnancy isn't teen pregnancy itself or children getting pregnant, but the fact that it's unwed. You seem to believe that, well, the days of having those 55-year anniversary marriages that started in the teens are long gone, unfortunately. And you really seemed sad about this and said that it's because people are getting married when they're adults instead of when they're teenagers. So I was curious about how you felt about those positions today. And then go on with like, oh, I'm also curious, is the Sweet Baby Gang thing a reference to the diaper fights? You just like see how much you can get in and see if I can get the mic like in my hand. Disarm them enough to be able to hold the mic. That's the way. That's the way. But yeah, I mean, if this is his last event, then I guess there's no need. Shark did it right. That's probably how I would have gone about it. Like, you can't let him talk. If you let him talk, then he'll come up with something to respond to. You just have to get as much of the things that people in his audience probably haven't heard him say in their ears as possible. It's all that matters. He'll be flustered just if you get that to the audience without him being able to cut you off. I still think this is very good, though. Big ups to Shark for this. This was based. This was awesome. I love seeing stuff like this. Whenever I see one of these stooges get confronted IRL by like an online lefty figure that really knows what they're talking about and has debunked them a dozen or so times, it's always real satisfying.